Musclebox Radio, Season 2, Episode number 2. So today I am joined by Michael Harrison, and we're going to get into the show very shortly. But what I just wanted to say was this show's brought to you by Teambox. So please check us out. We've got plenty of blogs, more information on our website. And if you want any of the show notes or information around the podcast, that's where we kind of keep everything. So that's www.team-box.co.uk. So Mike, before we get into the show, what did we cover?
So we covered our training, what we've been up to, whether you can gain muscle at maintenance, and how and when to use mini cuts in a long off season.
And then we also looked at as well, because they were from our listener questions, weren't they? The other thing we looked at was how to implement a calorie deficit, but when you start to plateau,
Yeah, plateau,
plateau, or hit a weight loss stall or something on your diet or prep. You know, how aggressive you should be, what you should do at that point. So, keep listening, guys. And again, thanks for tuning in. We love your reviews and people sharing the podcast. We've been tagged in loads of stuff recently. That obviously we've got the podcast going again. Keep sharing it. You know, we read all of the reviews that we get on iTunes. And again, thanks for listening. So I hope you enjoy the show. See you later. Musclebox Radio, episode 2 of season 2, and today I'm joined by Michael Harrison, back on the show. How you doing, Mike?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you?
You're back from a holiday, aren't you?
I am well rested.
Well rested. Yeah, you were up all night.
Yeah, I was.
Well fed as well, weren't you?
All inclusive, so yeah, looking like a bag of yogurt.
Yeah, but slightly redder than you left.
Yeah. So I'd probably say like a bag of tomato soup then.
Yeah, nice. Because I went away on holiday, got real burnt. Then when I came back, started to go brown, and now I've peeled and shed all my skin, so I'm back to being pale again.
Yeah, that's generally what happens to me, but I skip the brown part. I'm usually white or red.
Yeah, I'm on
blotches as well.
Oh, nice. Yeah, So I'm literally flaking like a snake shedding its skin at the moment.
It's always a good look.
It is. Yeah, especially when you're in your gym or whatever, and you get off that bench and you've just left half your back on the bench press. Yeah. Sorry about that. Sorry, Lou, if you're listening from Watson Gym. I'll try and wipe down my machines when I remember. Wipe that dead skin off. Yeah, mate. So how was your holiday? Was it good?
Yeah, really good, mate. Really nice to get away, relax, enjoy some drinks, enjoy some food, spend time with friends.
How much weight did you gain while you were away?
Well, I haven't weighed.
You haven't been weighing yourself in a while, have you?
No, I've not weighed myself since November, and we are currently in, July? So I've got no idea of what I weigh. It's a lot. No, but to be fair, like
it's about the same as a small elephant, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Small. But I don't know. Like I don't feel. I think maybe not weighing myself is. I don't know. Just taking that number away, and it almost is irrelevant. And I'm just sort of going off how I look and how I feel, and I'm not in too bad shape. My face is absolutely massive, but I can't do anything about that.
Yeah, it is filling up the entire screen.
I know, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, literally, it just goes straight to my straight to my cheeks.
Excuse me. Yeah. Well, do you know what? It's funny because we've had a few people comment that they think I'm really mean. Like when I make comments, it's only been a couple of people who've said it to me, but like when I make comments like that, like your face is filling my entire screen.
Yeah.
They think I'm being serious.
You are being serious.
I'm not. I'm joking.
Stephen Box Trot.
Yeah.
In your bio.
I just have the driest sense of humour. So if you are listening and you think I'm a jerk...
He doesn't care?
No, I do care about that. I don't want to be a jerk. But no, I am obviously I've got a great relationship with you, Mike, and everyone else of the team. So we give each other absolute hell, don't we?
We do, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all in good jest,
Well,
though.
exactly. And the thing is, it just is a good sign of our friendship, I think. So yeah, because I'm here in the office today, in the old Team Box HQ, um, and yeah, what is the hell?
It's all well and good though when you're not the fat one, isn't it? It's all good having this banter when you're not the fatty.
Yeah, I am actually leaned up a little bit, to be fair.
Mm,
Yeah,
great,
yeah,
great news.
yeah. I have actually leaned up. It's been quite good. My body's kind of yeah, started to change its body composition, like where I'm holding fat a little bit. I know that sounds a bit bro, but visually I'm looking different to how I was a few weeks back.
Yeah,
I'm looking a lot less watery and more.
yeah. You've just come back off holiday yourself though, so you're probably holding a little bit of water.
Yeah, and before I went away on holiday, my diet was loose. Like, I mean, I was eating a lot of Pizza Express, Pizza Hut even.
That pizza brand's available.
Yeah, so yeah. Now I'm not doing that. I'm eating a lot more single ingredient food.
Are you
Yeah,
track?
yeah, I'm tracking now. Yeah.
What are your macros?
I don't know. I'm just tracking.
Oh right.
Yeah, but the thing I said to myself was right. 4 to 5 servings of protein per day, hitting 220 grams a day total.
hmm
That's what I'm just focusing on. Yeah, fats are typically under 60 grams a day.
Yeah.
Carbs are around 300-ish. Yeah.
Nice.
And I'm sat around 79, 80 kilos fluctuating, so it's fine.
Nice.
Yeah, but now I'm going to start to incrementally bring those calories back up, put in a bit more training volume, and hopefully see some gains. But I'm actually looking a bit fuller, which is good, like in the arms and stuff. So
Yeah,
it's
I'm
nice.
looking. Hey, we're all looking fuller.
Yeah,
Around the gut mainly.
yeah. Well, my arms look less like spaghetti and more like tagliatelle.
Yeah, nice. Great progression.
Yeah, but anyway. Yeah, so what are you training at the moment now you're back from holiday? Talk me, because this is our new weekly feature. It's just, I want to know what you lot are training.
What am I training?
Yeah, talk me through your program.
So obviously I'm pretty fresh back, and I've just gone for a bit of enjoyment really. Today I did
Zumba?
chest and shoulders.
Nice.
So I'm doing chest and shoulders, a back and arms, and then a leg day, and I'm doing that a rest day after that, and then repeating again. So essentially 6 times a week.
Nice.
But yeah, because I've had all the food, and yeah.
So what gym are you at the moment then?
Oh, I'm at a pure gym.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've changed gyms. I mean,
They follow us on Instagram.
do they?
Yeah.
Great gym.
Plug.
Yep.
Yeah,
Discounts are welcome.
Yeah, Pure Gym. If you want to sponsor the show, there is a monthly charge for that. Yeah.
But yeah, like just trying to enjoy it again. I'm usually going quite heavy on a compound movement at the beginning.
Sorry, what movement, mate?
A compound movement.
Oh, the sound cut out and it sounded like something completely different.
A pound movement.
No, it sounded like a cock movement. That's what I thought it said.
Like, I'm going quite heavy on one of those.
You see much progression?
No, not in me. It's getting leaner. Quite vascular though.
Hypertrophy in that range is non-existent. Yep.
Atrophy,
Yeah.
as the old age kicks in. Oh my god. Where's
So
this going?
you're going heavy with compounds.
Yeah, and then going a little bit bro, I suppose. I'm not really logging any of my lifts just while
Get back into it.
Yeah, I've not got anything written down as of yet, and I'll probably get on that maybe next week or the week after, and really start to log my lifts again and look for some progression. But just trying to, yeah, just hit it a little bit hard while I'm quite fresh and just enjoy myself. What about you?
Well, I've actually just started a new program that I wrote myself. So it's real nice.
Yeah,
Really
how
nice. Well, I read so when I was away on holiday, I read Scott Stevenson's
Fortitude Training.
Fortitude Training. Yeah, sorry, I can't get my words out. So I read that book, and that was interesting, like really good. And I'd love to get Scott on the show at some point. if he will agree. Hopefully he will. So, because obviously myself and Scott spoke at Body Power, and we were on the Q&A together at the end, along with Martin McDonald and Emma Story-Gordon and Jamie Alderton. So we were the Q&A panel. So that was the first time I've met Scott in person. That was great. And kind of, read his book, thought it was good. And then recently listened to a podcast that I really enjoyed. And it was with Ben Pekulski and Dorian Yates.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Who was that? What channel was that
on Ben Pekulski's podcast.
All right.
And listening to Dorian talk about training was brilliant, actually, because I've never listened to him really go into much about training. And there's a lot of stuff that I resonated to. Like, I am a very much instinctively hard trainer, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
you are.
I don't like, I'm not someone who can train 3 reps out from failure.
No.
I've got to hit failure. And I just need a way of, because that's what I enjoy. And at the end of the day, enjoyment's the most important thing. So I'm now finding ways that I can enjoy it, but still recover. So basically, now my training's kind of split into upper body, lower body, upper body, lower body. And I'm just doing 2 sets on each exercise, but I'm hitting around 10 exercises a session. And I'm doing a lot of couplets, a lot of supersets, a couple of giant sets in there, where I'm doing a lot of paired muscle groups from like long and short ranges and things like that. It's good, but rep ranges are like 15 to 20 reps a set.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm doing a lot of like cluster work, so I'll pick a weight, so I don't care what. So I'm basically picking a weight that I might be able to do for 12 reps, but with a couple of clusters in, I'm going to basically get that up to 20 reps.
Yeah.
So it's working really well, actually, and I'm loving it.
Nice. I'll have to have a look at that Fortitude Training, because like Jordan Peters trains that way, doesn't he?
Yeah, so Scott's program is kind of a full body setup, but with a sort of higher proportion of work being done on like upper one day and then lower the next.
Is he? Yeah. Is it? He goes like sort of heavy upper, then lighter lower, and then heavy on the lower, light on the upper the next day. Yeah,
that's it. And then there's some like metabolic work and stuff like that. So I've kind of took some nice little principles away from that, and then kind of put it into a program that I know is going to suit me and my training style. So yeah, mate, I'll be happily send you my program if you want to give it a bash.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
then when you come to the office on Tuesday, we can smash out the same session. That'd be good.
Yeah, that will be good.
So yeah, it's quite nice actually.
I'll school you on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll look forward to that.
Yeah.
I did
school a meal on the squats.
I did the squat machine and leg extension superset the other day, and I was on the floor nearly being sick.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it was not nice. I had to call it a day after that.
That's never a good look in the gym, is it?
No.
Vomiting.
No, well, we're in the old Watson gym, which is an incredible gym, and we're so lucky that is our local facility here. But
so, while listening, Watson Gym, we are open for sponsorship.
Yeah, we'll have anyone. We're not fussy.
No,
but no, I wouldn't. Yeah, those guys are incredible. Yeah, without a doubt, the best gym in the Bath area, I would say. Then you've obviously got Ministry of Fitness, which is another incredible gym over in Bristol. But yeah, for this Bath area, the Watson Gym's sick.
And not forgetting Pure Gym. Come on.
Yeah, exactly, mate. What Pure Gym's that? Where can people find you?
Pure Gym, Loughborough.
Oh, is that your gym, is it?
It is, yeah.
Oh, nice. Sweet. Where are you living then at the moment, exactly? Oh, you're living in Loughborough?
I am, yeah.
Oh, nice. Strong. Oh, sweet, mate.
Yeah.
Going back to university?
Oh, I wouldn't, no. Absolutely not. I wouldn't get in, mate.
No, you don't want to start staying in halls? Not for you?
30-year-old student.
Yeah.
Van Wilder.
Yeah, nice. It's good luck. But no, mate, that's what I've been trialing out recently. It's been good, actually. I'm in week 2 at the moment, so I'll let you know at week 4 if I'm dead or still going strong.
Yeah, spot on. I'll send me over that, and
I
I'll
got
give
it. I got it in a Google Drive, so I'll knock it up nice and neat, and then I'll share it with you.
Sweet.
So, mate, we've got a few new features of the podcast now. And what we'll do at the end of the show, we've got a listener question. We've actually got a couple, so we can obviously answer those. But there's a couple of little features that we're going to add in at the end of the show, so I'll save those. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with you very soon while I find what these questions are. So we'll be back shortly. So we're back from the break, and I have now found and located the listener questions. So we've got a question in, and this person's asked to be remained nameless.
Wow.
Yeah. So he said, "Hi Stephen, hope you're well. I'm a huge fan of all the Teambox content. It's amazingly helpful, so thank you so much for putting out great info out there." I mean, I can't believe he's actually talking about us, if I'm honest, Mike.
I think he was mistaken.
Yeah, with someone decent. Anyway, so it made my day when you guys are back doing Musclebox Radio. Since you asked for questions, I thought I'd fire one in. So by the way, guys, if you do want a question answered for the podcast, you can just email me at info@team-box.co.uk. And I'll obviously get to those. So the question is, when you are dieting someone to lose body fat for a show, as I understand it would slowly reduce calories or add calories over the course of the prep, when the athlete hits weight loss plateaus, I was wondering if you could elaborate a little more on making these mid-diet adjustments. When someone's weight on the scales can jump about quite a bit from day to day, when do you know it's about right time to make the cut in calories? Do you take some sort of average over a period of time? Weight to weight loss completely stops. Wait for weight loss to completely stop, or do you have a rough date in mind? How many calories do you then basically progress it, and all that kind of stuff? So, and then refeeds. I mean, there's literally about 6 questions in here.
Yeah, he just wants us to prep him for free, doesn't he? On the podcast.
So, week 1, set your macros as this. Week 2. No, okay, so essentially, so this guy, I nearly said his name then, as it was right in front of me, but basically, you're right. Over the course of the diet, or the prep period, calories are going to have to be reduced, and also cardio is going to have to be increased. They don't necessarily need to be done both at the same time, and they also don't need to be done, you can do one without the other as well, can't you, Mike?
Yeah, you can.
You could just diet just from calories alone, but putting the cardio in just allows you to eat a bit more food. Mike, you can take the first bit then.
Yeah. So,
talk us. When someone's dieting and weight loss isn't always linear.
Yeah.
What are the reasons why weight loss can jump about?
So essentially, weight loss will rarely be linear, and what I would always recommend, and what we do with our prep clients, is that you weigh yourself daily, in the morning, fasted, hopefully around the same time.
Why? Why fasted? And why naked?
Because you want to have the most consistent readings that you can. So you see some people stepping in the gym at 3 o'clock in the afternoon with all their clothes on and their trainers on and weighing themselves, and it's like, well,
their phone in their pocket.
Yeah, you've got clothes on, you've got trainers on, you've got phone, keys, you've eaten, you've drank. So that's never going to be, you're never going to get spot on 2 days consecutively. So by keeping the variables as consistent as possible from day to day, that's probably the most accurate way of doing things. So literally when I'm in prep, first thing I do is I go to the toilet, wash my hands, obviously, and then step on the scale. You
don't have to kid everyone on the podcast, mate, that you're hygienic.
Not with soap, though. I just give them a cursory run under the tap.
Yeah, just dry them off it. You just dry them. You go straight for the towel, mate. You don't even go for the water. You just dry them off in the towel.
Yeah, gets rid of all the urine off my hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weighing and taking an average across the week, essentially, because then as he alludes to in his message, he says that scale weight can fluctuate. So if you get more data points, and that sort of smooths out the data that's been collected, rather than having one single time point, say a Sunday and then a Sunday, you then start to, like I say, smooth out that data across the week and get a much clearer and concise view, and take out the higher and the lower days, and it becomes easier to
be objective
and compare that from week to week. So
just for some basic maths here then. So for those guys, and this is something that is an important skill, right? How to take a good average. You can do this in a numerous ways, and I would suggest using 2 ways, basically. In order to find someone's weight average, add them all together, and then divide by 7. Or divide by how many data points you have. So in a week, if you weighed yourself for 7 days, that's why you would do that. Or the other way of doing it is disregarding, finding the middle weigh-in basically for that week. So don't look at don't get really excited about the lowest weight, and don't get really excited or don't get really upset when you see a high one. Just take the one that's straight in the middle of all of those, and then that's quite easy to look at. You don't need to worry about calculations and stuff. You can just do that visually on a piece of paper, can't you?
Yeah, nice.
2 very simple ways of looking at it and being a bit more objective about it. And also with that, you don't get then, like I said, every time you're stepping on the scales, you're not like, oh my god, yeah, I've got a new low or whatever. So
Yeah, it's never going to be linear. So if you're kidding yourself if you think every day you're going to be losing 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 of a kilo, and going down throughout prep. So there's a myriad of things that can affect scale weight, from food in the gut to your salt intake yesterday, to how many steps you did, when you ate your last meal, how carbohydrate full you are, whether you've been to the toilet, how stressed you are, whether you're holding a little bit of water. For females, the period of the menstrual cycle that you're in, all sorts of things. Yeah. Good word, right?
Yeah. nice, Mike. Yeah.
Yeah. So all sorts of things. So obviously, then, if we know that so many things affect it,
I love how you tried to be really professional then and use the word menstrual cycle, but you ended up saying period first.
This is what happens when I try to be professional. I still end up becoming unstuck, and my idiocy shines through.
I nearly spat my Lucozade out then.
So at least taking an average somewhat gives you an objective view. And then what I would say is that you want to make sure that you have actually stalled with your fat loss, and that it's not just weight loss that's stalled, because weight loss and fat loss are 2 different things. So towards the back end of a prep, you might be holding a little bit more water because you're slightly stressed, and that might be masking some fat loss. So essentially, if you're just going by weight alone on the scale, you might be too eager to make adjustments, make the diet harder for yourself, and then potentially compromise adherence or compromise training when it wasn't necessary, because you were still losing fat. It was just the fact that your weight wasn't going down. So you'd want to make sure that you are actually still losing fat. So we ensure that we are taking regular photos, so we can have a visual assessment, looking at the whole body. So again, not just like an ab shot. We're looking for differences across the whole body, whether that's the legs, the back, and just analysing all the areas. And then obviously measurements, to make sure that we have got an accurate understanding of where that person's at. And then if it's been established that that person has perhaps stalled with their fat loss, then creation of a further calorie deficit by either, like you said, removing some calories or increasing some energy output is going to be necessary to then kickstart that fat loss again.
And I think it's also important to note in it, it's kind of something we've touched on in previous podcasts actually, is I won't always, don't take this as, okay, so you've got the averages and let's say 1 week the average doesn't change. You don't necessarily need to drop someone, do you, at that point? You then need to start to look at the other variables, like look at your accuracy of tracking. Was last week actually accurate? Was there any days which might not have been accurate? Because if so, then we've maybe got some variables that aren't consistent. We can look at images. Is that person leaner? Because sometimes weight loss isn't always the same as fat loss, right? So you could get leaner and look leaner, but that's just not being represented on the scales. So if you look leaner, then that's a judgment call you can make there to go, actually fat loss is still occurring, so let's just keep cracking on these calories. Or whether it's even the right time to drop macros for that person, whether they'd be able to sustain it. Like me and you had that time when I was prepping you for that show, actually we took calories up and that then saw weight loss. It didn't see fat loss, it saw weight loss. So it just is not always as clear cut as that, is it really? But I think you've always got to make sure that you've got a very well-rounded approach. And this is kind of why it upsets me a little bit when I see people just using or coaches just using calculators or macro kind of, they're just like macro coaches, and that's all they do is they just go, right, you haven't dropped, so take off X amount of calories, and that's the approach they do. It's not personal. They're not finding out about, if their clients had a rough week at work, or that they had an event that they had to go to, or they ate late last night, and all those little things that might have occurred over that week, right? So yeah, I think there's a lot of, got to take all of those things into consideration. So then let's say it is right to drop someone's calories.
Yeah.
And again, this is going to depend. How much would you reduce someone's calories for? So I'm actually going to use an example here. Let's say you are coaching because this is, I was speaking to one of my clients today, and she kind of mentioned this to me, that we don't often give many examples for females. So I think maybe we should give some more examples for females as well. So let's take two examples. So you've got, the first one is a male. He's on a 24-week prep. He's 12 weeks in, and fat loss or weight loss is stalled. He's currently on 2,200 calories at the moment. He's doing 2 sessions of cardio a week. And he can't do any more cardio. Where would you take his macros from here? He's got 12 weeks left.
Whew. Well, 12 weeks is a long time to sustain much lower than 2,200 calories, depending on his weight, obviously.
Let's say he's 75 kilos.
Okay. I mean, that's 12 weeks to eke that out. And how much would he be considered left to lose in terms of weight, would you say?
Let's say you have to lose another 3 kilos.
Okay. So
he's not miles off.
So
3 to 4 kilos would be decent, yeah.
Yeah, so not a great deal then. I would probably take him. I would drop maybe between 5-10%. So 10 probably.
So down to about 2,000 calories.
2,000, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so roughly, what's that, maybe 8%? So about 2,000 calories. I'd take that primarily from carbohydrates and fats. At some point, I would probably take away from protein. Again, I would make a decision based on what he was currently on. Ideally, for myself, I would prefer a higher carbohydrate amount in the diet to sustain his training, especially 12 weeks out from a show. You don't really want to see a massive detrimental effect and have to eke that out for 12 weeks. He's going to be in a world of pain. But yeah, pretty straightforward, I'd say.
Cool. So obviously some things that Mike touched on there was, first of all, he wanted to know the context, and that's really important. How far out is this guy? How much has he got to lose? And also the time frame that you've got that, because obviously the shorter the time period, the more weight to lose, the more severe you're going to have to be, right? But then also Mike alluded to the adherence factor, whether someone's actually going to be able to sustain that. Otherwise, it's not going to be bearable. And, if something goes to the point where everything has to go too low, which is unbearable, and you don't have enough time, then it's not the right decision to compete. You need longer. So you need to then postpone that show. I'm just trying to basically go through everything that would have went through your head then to make those decisions for people listening.
Yeah, sure.
So then, the next example. You've got a female client. She is 49 kilos.
Ooh, lean.
Yep, 50 kilos. Yeah, we'll just say 50 kilos. Needs to drop 2 kilos.
Okay.
And you have 8 weeks to do so. Currently on 1,400 calories.
Yeah. Drop those. Yeah, she can drop those. 1,400 calories for a 50 kilo female is luxury.
Yeah?
Yeah, I would say so.
So how much would you drop those calories by?
Okay, so let's go through this again. So she's got 2 kilos to lose, so roughly 5 to 6 pounds. She's got, what, 8 weeks, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, so less than £1 a week. So that would be roughly about 1% of her body weight. So you're going to have to be fairly aggressive at 1%. So 1,400. I would probably take her down to, how much cardio is she doing?
Oh, good question. I didn't say.
Can she do more?
Yep.
She can do more.
She's currently doing 2 sessions a week.
Okay, so what scope does she have to do? How many sessions per week can she do?
As much as you need.
All right, okay. So I would probably ask her, which would you prefer? Would you prefer to keep your calories higher? Do you want to do more cardio? And I would leave it to her decision, basically. So obviously her preference is going to be key, and whatever she finds best to stick to is going to be easier.
Yep.
So it might be a mixture of the two. It might be stepping up to 3 sessions of cardio with a smaller decrease in calories. It might be the fact that she goes, do you know what? I'm actually fine on these calories. I don't really want to do more cardio because I've got, I don't want to spend more time in the gym. So it would be a bigger drop. Or vice versa. She might go, no, I absolutely love eating. Give me all the cardio. And I'll say, okay, maybe step up to 4, 5 sessions a week.
Maybe 6.
Yeah, well, whatever,
And I think, I was going to say, for some of my clients at the moment, there is, I used to be one of those coaches that used to fear taking people too low.
Yeah, I think people do. I think people are so scared of going, because this fable of metabolic damage, you're never going to recover, then you're going to rebound and get so fat.
Yeah, and not only that, you've got then people trying to go down their health route, saying you're going to mess people up, it's not ethical, moral, and all that kind of stuff, right? So when actually they don't know what they're talking about.
No.
And you can go pretty aggressive with people. I've got a client at the moment and we're going very aggressive. But the thing is, she is a seasoned competitor. She's got a great work ethic. And we've got a great relationship where if she was finding it difficult, she would tell me. And we've got, interventions ready to put in place, if that happens. But yeah, pedal is right down to the floor and we're going for it every single day. Like I've said to her, I think we've got 8 weeks left. I can't remember off the top of my head. No, not even that.
This isn't the one that you've just given me, is it? You were trying to get some tips.
No, we've got 4 weeks left now.
Oh, okay.
4 weeks left. But for the last, kind of 6 to 8 weeks, I haven't dropped her macros or changed her cardio. It's kind of been maxed out where I'm happy to take her, which is low.
Yeah, she's going for it.
Yeah, gunning for it. But all I'm doing now is making sure that my coaching is around keeping her motivated and keeping her on track and making sure that any interventions that need to be put in place get put in place.
That's the thing. You can hammer people, but you're there explaining how you're doing it. You're not just leaving her to it and potentially putting her in a vulnerable position.
Yeah.
You're there coaching her through it, and you know that you've got those contingency plans if things go a little awry. If she's struggling, right, okay, we're going to do this. This is how we're going to work around this. Yeah. And then you're also going to be there to give a follow-up support after the show, to recovery diet.
And because I've worked with her for multiple years now.
Is this V?
No.
Lindsay?
Yeah. So because I've worked with her for more than one show in more than 1 year, that I know that we're working harder than we worked last year.
Go on, Lindsay.
Because I know a limit.
Yeah.
And to be fair, it also goes for V as well. We're going harder this year than we've gone before, but She wants to bring in a tighter look. Like with Verushka, she won't mind me saying this because we've had her on the podcast anyway. Last week she hit her previous stage weight.
Nice.
And we've still got weeks to go. And she's got a lot more mass this year.
Great position to be in.
So she's looking a lot more peeled. She was looking how she looked last year, 12 weeks out. So every day now is just a bonus before she steps on stage again. So, and again, like the reason why I know how hard to push someone is because I am their coach where I'm, it's like anything, right? Any coaching environment, my entire degree was based on sport performance, how to coach athletes to be the best that they can be. And you can't do that the first time you work with someone. Sometimes you have to, practice certain things, find out their limits. And, these people that are staying with us for a long time are getting better results every year because we're able to get the best out of them.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. People are so scared to, like you say, to put people low calorie or to work hard. But you can be sure that the people winning those competitions or whatever it is, or the people in great shape, they're the ones who are working hard. Yeah. They're the ones who are on low calories. They're the ones who are doing the work. Yeah. And
I was going to say, like we get a lot of obviously first time competitors coming to us, and there's a lot of first timers coming out in bodybuilding now at the moment, isn't there? Like the sport's taking off, which is amazing. But if you're a first time competitor, and something I've always said is don't expect to win.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be up against people that are working harder than you. Like I don't mean that derogatory or disrespectfully, but they're going to be working hard because I know that from experience. Every time I prep, I get better. I find it easier. I get better, and I look better. Same for you. Same for all of the other coaches. at Teambox and all of our clients. Every year they're better. So if you're a first timer, you could be up against someone this could be their 8th or 10th show. They learnt from their mistakes in shows 1 and 2 where they didn't smile properly, or they didn't show the badge to the judge, or they didn't get the tan right, or whatever it is, right? All those different variables. And every time you do one, you learn. So it's extremely kind of naive, I think, to go, I'm a first, I'm going to win or whatever, because it's just not the right sort of approach to have, is it? Because you're only going to set yourself up for failure.
Yeah, exactly. It's great to be competitive, but like you said, competing and prep is a skill, and there's so many avenues which you can fall down on. Like you say, it's not just the physique; it's the posing. If you've not got the physique, if you've got the physique but you can't pose it, you can't show it off, then you're not going to win.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's stage shots of mine. I look back and I go, I need to adjust that pose.
Yeah.
Whereas other people would look at my pictures and go, that's a nice shot. I'm looking at it like, well, how can I make myself look a bit bigger there?
Exactly, yeah.
When I'm hitting my, my front double bicep or whatever, and my legs look a bit stringy.
You haven't got any biceps, mate.
Not with that exactly, but yeah.
Yeah,
maybe some surgical implants is what I need, but
yeah,
whatever, right? I'm still looking at those.
Front double tagliatelle.
Yeah. The front double carbonara. Here we go. Yeah.
Unfortunately, mine's full on meatball.
You're full cream.
Yeah, yeah, I am, mate.
Nice. But yeah, I think that's good. That's good. We've covered some nice little intricate bits there, actually. I think that should be quite helpful for people that are looking to prep people or, prepping themselves.
Yeah.
If you're prepping yourself, you're brave.
It gets on my nerves, like what you said about when people, say that you're going to damage your health and things like that with low calories. Because I've seen people call people out for it before, and it's like, you're not. You're not. Nowhere is it being shown that this is a real thing. Like,
yeah.
Minnesota starvation study, like they were starving essentially.
And at the end of the day, like if I ever had someone come to me and say, "Oh, Steve, you're unethical because you said on the podcast that you do this or whatever, and that's extreme for someone," I'm like, well, it was their decision.
Yeah, it is extreme.
Like bodybuilding is extreme, right? Yeah. And I know that they are in my safe hands because they could go to another coach which isn't so safe, where they're not getting the support, the care, the everything else that goes along with it, or they're not working with a coach that has any experience who's literally just dishing out calories and macros. They might not have ever competed before, which isn't a necessity, but I think it's pretty important. I mean, I must admit, I wouldn't work with a prep coach who hadn't competed before.
No.
I don't know, it's just, and there's some prep coaches out there who offer coaching for bodybuilding competitions and whatnot. They've never even seen a bodybuilding show. Like, well, that's ridiculous. That's like, I don't know, hiring a football coach and they've never even watched a game. It's no different though, is it?
No, it's exactly that.
But yet they think that they have the right to help people when no, they should be, like, someone comes to me with an injury, what do? Go see a physio.
Yeah.
I don't go, oh, I know a bit about, muscle groups and whatnot, so I'm going to try and help you with your injury. No. Sack off that exercise that's causing you pain, go see your physio, come back to me with what they've said. That's what you do. I don't know. That's just my my little rant for the day.
Mm.
I've got plenty more, but backed up.
Same.
You're just backed up, mate. That's different.
Yeah.
You've got 7 days of all inclusive backed up, mate. So that's different.
I am.
Yeah. So anyway, we've got more questions. Let me just find them now. Anyway, what we should do as well, you try and guess his name. So that question was coming from...
Guess his name?
Go on, guess it.
Neil.
He's Neil.
What?
That was Neil.
I don't believe you.
No, it wasn't. But good guess anyway. Right, so next question.
I selected Neil.
Huh?
I don't know why I selected Neil. There's more common names I could have plumped for there.
Yeah, you could have.
Unless our market is like 40 to 50-year-old plumbers.
I've got a client called Neil.
Oh, I know. He's in great shape.
Yeah, he's not a plumber.
No.
I think,
I'll just make a massive generalisation.
I think he's 35, so he's only 5 years off your guess.
I've just ostracised everybody called Neil that's not within that age group or profession.
Yeah, you've probably lost us a few followers now who are called Neil.
Sorry, 2 Neils.
Yeah. Anyway, what was I going to say? Yeah, my client Neil is looking sick at the moment, so he's a couple of weeks out now from his show. I've got to speak to him today, actually. I was helping him with his posing at the weekend, so that was nice. Yeah, he's coming on well. So we've got another question. This is from someone in our Teambox alumni group. Yeah. So for those who have been through one of our coaching packages before, we have a group where they can hang out, basically. So we can keep interacting with them and all that kind of stuff, keep supporting them, and they get to ask questions and bits and pieces. So anyway, this is from Frankie. Is it possible to put on a decent amount of muscle on maintenance calories or without going into a huge surplus? So Frankie has just competed in her first show. She did the Pure Elite show up in Manchester. She was coached by Dan for that. So that's the question. Can you put on a decent amount of muscle mass on a maintenance calories?
Depends what you would establish as decent.
Yeah.
You can gain muscle on maintenance or deficit, but not as well as you could in a surplus. The word massive next to massive surplus certainly isn't required. You don't need to have a massive surplus and eat all the food, which is the approach I've adopted. But yeah, certainly being in a surplus is going to help. The more nutrients you're providing, the better performance you're going to get, the better recovery you get, the more that you're going to grow. It's quite obvious. There's a study done which showed that no greater than a 500 calorie excess was needed to build the same amount of muscle as anything below that. So anything over that, so when people go, I'm bulking, and they smash in the ice cream, they're literally gaining the same amount of muscle had they have used a smaller surplus. They're just gaining more body fat. And then essentially, they're then having to bring the diet forward, so they're going to have to diet for longer during that period. So essentially, spending less time in a surplus and will actually therefore gain less muscle because less of a surplus throughout the year.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can, Frankie. Yeah, you can. But I would recommend being in a small surplus if muscle gain is what you're after.
Yeah. I mean, she is obviously just recently post-show, so I'd probably say, look, for a while, keep stuff at maintenance. And then because your body will no doubtly start to change anyway, rather than having a massive drastic difference.
Yeah.
If you're cool at maintenance and you're feeling fine there, train well,
She's going to be able to push those calories up really quite quickly as well, because a training performance is going to get so much better, and NEAT's going to be upregulated, so she's going to be able to bring those calories up in line with the
maintenance change.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, nice. Cool, mate. So, next question. Right, this is from my client, or Cody. So if you were going to spend an extended time not competing, 2 to 3 years, and wanting to build the most amount of muscle possible, how would you approach mini cutting and how often? Thanks in advance, guys.
Nice. Me or you? Me?
Yeah, I'll take this one. I'll take this one. So what I would do, and then you can basically tell me I'm wrong.
Well.
And then give your answer. So what I would do in this instance is, and again, it is going to depend, right, on your ability to handle fat gain. That it always comes down to that, right? To that point where you go, actually, I'm not happy with my body composition at the moment. And the longer you can, put the more strategies you can put in place to become less body conscious and focused on the amount of body fat you have, I think the better. Because I think that's just going to allow you to, persevere for longer in a calorie surplus. And as Mike said, I'm not, what you said is the same for guys and girls, right?
Yeah.
You need to be in that calorie surplus, ideally. So in terms of mini cutting, I don't know, if I've got 2 to 3 years, I might put a mini cut in every 6 months, maybe. You could do it probably, just to give some standardization here, just for people to actually apply this. You could do 12 weeks in a gaining phase, and then 2 weeks in a slight cutting phase. That could do it. Just to basically trim off anything you've gained, and just repeat that 4, 5, 6 times. You'd probably, net gain rather than lose. And it also depends on how far you are out from your stage weight again as well. That's going to depend, because obviously if you're creeping further and further away and it's getting a bit ridiculous, then yeah, maybe mini cuts are more preference than without them. Whereas if you're someone like me who's not too far away, then actually you can probably just stay in a surplus all the way, or just maybe have the odd 1 or 2 mini cuts. You could do a yearly mini cut or 6 monthly and do it for 4 to 6 weeks or something, and that would be enough just to basically trim off 4 kilos or 4 or 5 kilos before you go again.
Okay.
What do you think?
So for me, it would again depend. It depends how quickly that person is gaining weight.
Yeah.
So like yourself, you don't stay too far away from stage weight, so the periods that you're going to be mini cutting is probably less than me, because I tend to gain weight
faster,
a little quicker, because I probably eat a little bit more and probably move a little bit less.
Mike, you don't probably eat a little bit more. You eat a lot more.
I eat a lot more.
I've seen you eat,
and I'm a sloth. So yeah,
we are all amazed at how quickly you can eat.
It's my biggest talent in life.
When we went to Grillstock and you just inhaled food that I've never seen, like we both had the knuckle duster, didn't we?
Oh yeah.
Me, you and Chris all had the knuckle duster. I mean, I didn't even finish mine because the chewing getting through that pork crackling was just taking too much time. But I looked over and you had 3 other plates anyway. And
I don't mess about.
Hey, you don't mess about.
I love it when they go, are you sure you want to order all that? Yeah. Sit back.
Yeah. Watch this.
Yeah. You're about to witness something special. So it depends on the person. So like, I wouldn't ever give any standardized period of time to be in a surplus or to mini cut. I would very much rely on the visual. So, like with my clients, I will say, look, and I'm there to give them that honest feedback and say, look, no, we can keep going. Like, because essentially we all want to try to stay lean because abs look great and everybody wants to feel lean, but potentially that's what's holding a lot of people back from gaining the maximum amount of muscle that they possibly could, that they're wanting to stay too lean.
Yeah.
So I'll always give them the honest feedback of, no, look, you're not that bad. We can keep going and we can keep pushing some food. And then vice versa, if they've got a little bit too soft, I'll say, right, okay, now we need to mini cut.
Yeah. And I was just going to say on that point as well, mate, is sorry to butt in, but sometimes like you might end up with a holiday approaching. And
exactly.
It works out to be that lovely time to do a cheeky little mini cut before you go.
Exactly, yeah. So then my approach would be, with a mini cut, obviously very, very harsh, because if you're starting a mini cut, then you're at your higher end of the body fat set point, so to speak. So essentially the muscle that you're going to lose by severely dieting is going to be minimal, if any, because you've got an abundance of body fat to lose. You say abundance, but more than you need. So you can go really quite harsh, and the aim is to get in and out as quick as possible, get rid of a few kilos of body fat, and then get right back to a surplus. Because if his objective is over the 2 or 3 years to gain muscle, then you need to be spending more time in a surplus by default.
Yeah. The
more time you spend in a deficit is more time away from developing any real muscle tissue. So it should be short, sharp, and in and out. So, so I would very much rely on feedback of how somebody's looking and feeling. And do it that way rather than be so periodic with your approach as saying 12 or 16 weeks or something like that.
Nice.
It's very, very individual.
Perfect. Right, Mike. Well, thanks for that. That's all of our listener questions. So, like I said, if you have a question for us, you want answering, it can be on anything around nutrition, training, Mike's eating patterns, whatever. Just email us info@team-box.co.uk. Alternatively, go to the website www.team-box.co.uk, and we've got a contact form. Just fill that in, and I'll get that message, and we'll be able to get that out on the podcast. So quickly, so our special feature of the week is, Mike, favourite exercise at the moment?
Squat.
Nice. What, front or back?
Back.
Nice. Why?
Look, because I'm progressing really well on it.
Nice. Boom.
So that feels good.
And we also have our other feature, which is one thing you would tell yourself, or one... Okay, this is what easiest way to word it. A big mistake that you've made in your nutrition and training. And I'm going to ask you this in the last year.
Oh, the biggest mistake I've made in the last year. In nutrition and training. I'm pretty confident in that, in nutrition and training within the last year. But I'd probably say more of a mentality side of things.
Go on.
When I freaked out before my show, thinking I wasn't lean enough. So that's probably the biggest mistake, and being sort of really over analytical about my weight or how I was looking, how I was feeling, and just being annoying basically to you guys. And if it wasn't for the other coaches telling me I was stupid, then I probably wouldn't have made it to stage. I was really panicking. But nutritionally and training wise, I'd say I feel I'm pretty confident,
Nice.
as I should be, as I'm in charge of other people's.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's great. It's good that we're always, and that's the important thing, right? Like, we should be evolving all the time. Well, okay, one stupid thing that you did years ago.
Oh, just the shotgun approach, I think. Just all out. So, like, when people want to get lean, they pick everything. They go full on, don't they? So I remember
Fat burners, faster cardio.
Yeah, I was on the fat burners. I was on the CLA, and then I was on 1,600 calories. But whilst doing keto and only eating between 12 and 6. So I would wait until 12, like literally there'd be 2 minutes left and I'd be starving. And I wouldn't eat because like those 2 minutes count. Like,
exactly, yeah.
Stupid. I was drinking 5 or 6 cups of green tea a day thinking it was doing something, all at once. Just went whole hog, and obviously that fell flat on its face.
Yeah.
As it would do, because it's not necessary. It's too hard, and you're never going to keep it up.
Nice.
You know, it was enjoyable going keto for a while because you get to eat all the bacon and the chorizo and cheese, but your breath's pretty poor. I'll be honest.
Ain't fresh.
Yeah,
mate, that's quality. Mike, thanks so much for coming on the podcast.
Anytime.
So if you would like to get in contact with us, if you want to work with Mike or any of the other Team Box coaches, again, head over to our website and you can apply. Boom. Right, Mike, until next time, that was episode number 2 of season 2, and we'll be back to you next week.
See you later.
See you later.